All of you, welcome back once again into the course. In this video, we'll talk about the major update you have to do in the project. Some of the students are facing this problem, so I thought let's make a dedicated video where I can show you that what update you have to do. But 90% of the students have already done this update. So I can see the success story which you guys sharing in my emails that you guys are getting job and internship after completing this project. I'm getting huge messages. I really appreciate those of you who have completed the project, those who have built the project, and those who have shared their feedback. So really appreciate your effort and the hard work you have put for learning and mastering the technology and building the project. We're going to talk about that, what update you have to do for those students who are facing this particular problem. So the source code of the particular project full stack NFT marketplace is given. So from here you can download the starter file or you can download the complete source code. And if you need any help, you can simply click on this, how to use it. It will open this. You can join a Discord server where you can ask all of your questions. So that's all notification you will find. But if you want to have a quick response, make sure to ask in the email. So David, Sam, Angeli will help you and respond you as quick as they can. Okay, so for quick response you can simply ask, because it's not possible for me to be available in all the time in the Discord server, so you can simply shoot a mail and they will help you. Now let's talk about the update. I already done the update in the final source code, but some of you are getting confused and not able to do the setup properly, so I thought let's make a dedicated video where we can talk about it. So this is the course navigation. You can simply go to different section. I hope you guys already know. There is no problem in that. Now let's talk about it. So once you will download the final source code, this is what you will get in the final source code. So this is the code which we have coded in the entire tutorial, and this is the updated code which I have done with Pinata, because in the project we have used Infura. As you already know that Infura have removed their IPFS service. So we cannot able to use IPFS for deploying our NFT, which we have covered extensively in the tutorial. But don't need to worry about it. You have to make few changes. You have to replace the Infura with Pinata. So if you come back here in the context, here we have this context file. So if you go back to the pages, if you go to the create NFT, this is the configuration we have done for Infura. But right now Infura is not working for the IPFS. We have to do the minor changes in our code base. So all the updates are done already in this particular one, in this NFT marketplace final code Pinata. In this I have done all the update which I'm going to talk about it, and you have to do exactly the same thing. Okay, so first thing you have to do is you have to get into this particular folder. This is the starter file which you can simply download it and start coding along with me in the tutorial where I have provided all the resources. Now this is what we have. Simply copy this entire renome and open your terminal. Once you open that, open up your terminal, type cd and get into this particular folder. So now we are into this particular folder, and before we start running the application, we have to check our node version and npm version, because the hardened package we are using in this tutorial is not compatible with the latest version of Node. So if you come back here in the package.json file, you will see that we are using this hardened version. If you use the updated version, it's not going to work, because recently there is an update in hardened package as well. So currently they have this particular version, but we are using this particular version which is more stable and which is very compatible with every network. But that's not the case with the latest one. So make sure to use the exact one, and this particular hardened will work with a specific node version and npm package. So simply open up your terminal. We are already into this particular folder, and first you have to check your node version. Okay, so type node node-v, hit enter. So this is the node version I'm using. Make sure to use it exactly the same. You will have no issue. Same thing with the npm, type npm-v, and this is the npm version I'm using. So make sure you have to use this two version. And if you don't know how to downgrade or upgrade your node version, I already made a video on YouTube where I have explained how you can do that. So come back here and you can simply scroll, and this is the video in which I have explained that how you can upgrade and downgrade. So make sure to watch it if you have the latest version and the lower version. So make sure to install the exact version. Once you're done with that, now you can come back to the code base. So once you have this proper packages and version in your system, now you have to install the packages. So let me do one thing. Let me remove the previous installation. So I'm going to remove this one, so we can simply reinstall everything from scratch. Now before we start our application, we have to do a couple of changes. So I'm going to divide the video in two parts. First, we're going to deploy our contract to the Polygon Amoly test network. Then we're going to deploy our contract in our local host, where I will show you how you can do the entire configuration in your MetaMask, how you can do the entire configuration in your terminal, so you can use the application locally and test it. So first, let's focus on the test network. Okay, so for that, first thing you have to do is you have to get your Pinata API key and secret key. So if I come back here in the pages, if you go back to the create NFT, here we have done the configuration. So let me zoom out a bit. You can see here I have given this comment so you guys can refer and understand that what are the changes you have to do. So this is the exact thing. You don't need to do any changes. So all you have to do is make the change here in the upload to Pinata. So this is the API key and secret key which you have to get from your Pinata account, which I will tell you how you can get it. So make sure to do this configuration. It's already done, but when you will have the final source code, in that you have to simply provide these two keys. So this is the one update you have to do in the upload to Pinata. Then the second update you have to do here in create market. Same thing, we have to give the Pinata API key and secret key. That's the only change you have to do. You don't need to do the changes in the content type, because this one is the form data. This is the form data we have in this Pinata, and here we are using the JSON file. So only replace your API key and secret key in both the function. So this is the first change you have to do. So to get your API key and Pinata key, all you have to do is to come back your browser, and here we are on the Pinata website. Pinata is really powerful, which allow you to use IPFS and upload your document. So make sure to create your account. I already have my account, so I will simply log in. Here I'm back into my Pinata dashboard, and you can able to see all the documents which I have uploaded using Pinata endpoint and API key. And by the way, this particular API key is working absolutely fine. This is the API key I have created recently, but it has a limit. So maybe in future this will not work. So you have to replace with your own. So to replace, all you have to do is to come back here in the API key section, click on here, and here you will find all the API key which you have created. So this is the API key which I have created, which you can see right up here, A3AE, and that's what you can see here. No, not this one, 3AE. So this is the API key which I have used. Now to create a new one, all you have to do is to click here, new key, and from here you can call whatever you want. I can say Pro NFT Market, and make sure to have the admin level access, because I want to use all of this. You can go with a specific one like only a file or metadata, but I want to have all the access in my API key. And from here you can set the limit. So I want to have 1000 NFT. That's the maximum limit you can set in a particular API. This means that you cannot able to upload more than 1000 NFT on this particular API, because we are using the free one. But if you go with the pro one, you can upload more than that. So once you're done with that, simply click on this generate API key, and it's going to generate your API key. And here we got our credential. So we have multiple options to configure this API key in our dApp. We have the API key, secret key, and we have JWT, which is a backend one, but we're going to use this too. So simply copy this one, and that's come back to the code, and here you have to replace. So we have to replace the same key in both the functions. So I'm going to simply do one thing. I'm going to simply select this F. You can see I have to replace in the two places. I can paste the new key, and I can simply click on this replace all. The key is replaced. Same thing I have to do with the secret key. So I'll select this one. Here we have it. Now I can come back here. I can simply select this portion, the entire secret key, and I can come back to the code, and I can simply replace this one. Replace. And here we have replaced the API key and secret key. So this is the first thing you have to do. You have to replace your API key and secret key. Once you're done with that, simply close it. That's the only thing we have to do here for uploading the NFT. Now you have to come back to the Next.js config file. And here we have to define the path. So we are using the gateway of Pinata Cloud, and that's what we have to provide. If you go back to the previous code which we have coded, in that we have provided our subdomain, because we are using image tag. We are using Next.js image tag. If you don't provide this domain path, your image will not reflect and it will throw an error. So this one is very important. So close this one. Let's come back here to the updated one, and here we have the Next.js config file. So where it is, it's here. So here we have to do the update, which I have already done in the final code. So once you're done with these two things, You updated the API key and secret key. After that you have to come back here in the utils, then go back to the contract, and here we have done the network configuration. So you can deploy this contract to any network, but currently we are focusing on Polygon AMOLI network because this one is currently live. Polygon Mumbai is depreciated. We cannot use the RPC endpoint which we have got from multiple providers like Infura, Acme, or we have this particular RKM. So in the project we have used this multiple provider like AR, and all the provider like Acme, Infura, and this one have removed their Polygon Mumbai. So we have to use the latest network for deploying our contract. So that's the configuration I have done. So you can deploy your contract to any network. It's on Polygon main network, on Binance or Ethereum, but I will do on the test network on this. And this is the exact configuration you have to do. You don't need to do this because I have already done that in the final code, and I'm deploying to Polygon Mumbai. So here I'm calling the function, and that's the function I'm calling here. So first I'm going to deploy to the Polygon test network. After that we're going to do the testing in the local environment, because if we want to do the testing in the local environment, we have to do a couple of changes in our code base to make it compatible with the local node, hard local node. So this looks good. Don't need to do anything. Everything's looking good. And one of you have faced this particular error, gas limit. So let's try to fix that. It's actually not an error. Sometimes what happened, Metamask failed to calculate the gas limit of a transaction. So generally this problem happen when you test your contract locally using hard hat, but when you will work on the actual network, it doesn't occur. If it's occur, you can simply add a safeguard to prevent that kind of error. But when you will do on the actual test network or a mainnet, it's not going to create any issue, but this happens in the local test network. So let's try to be on the safer side. So what I'm going to do is, let's try to update our code a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, and I can come back here, I can go back to the NFT context, and those of you who have faced this particular error, gas limit, this is the only thing you have to do, because this particular error will occur whenever you try to change the state of our contract. So when you are writing something, when you are creating an NFT, when you are updating, when you are buying, there you are changing the state of the contract. So this error will only occur in those functions, not in the function which you are fetching the data from the contract. So when you will write something, it will create an issue sometime, not always. So this is the function we have. So like here we have the function. So this is the function called create cell, and here we have this create token, and here we have the resell. So all we have to do is, we can simply set a gas limit here. So we are passing all of this data. Again, I have covered extensively in the project, so make sure to follow that. All you have to do is to simply add this particular variable called gas limit. This is the only thing you have to add. Make sure to give this bracket, and here you have to add this gas limit. In this way, you can tell the function that I am willing to pay this much gas only for calling the function and making the changes in the contract. This is the maximum gas limit we have set. Simply do the same thing and paste here, because these functions are changing the state in our contract. So once you're done with that, in this particular function, now we can simply close this function. Let's go to the next function called buy NFT. Again, we are making the changes in the states, so we have to simply provide. So let's provide here gas limit is this one. That's the one thing. Now simply close this one. Let's do the same thing with the buy NFT, and here we can simply do the changes. So these are the data we are passing into our transfer, and here we have this buy NFT. So here we have this one. Now let's come back here. Let's give this curly bracket and paste here. So this is the gas limit. Same thing we have to do here. Post this and paste here, gas limit. So we are done with this particular function as well. There is no problem. It's done. Now simply close this one. Now come back to the set auction. Again, we are making the changes in our state, so we have to simply update this function as well. So here we have this create auction listing. Paste it, and here we have the gas limit. Once you're done with that, simply close this particular function. Now we can come back to the bid auction. Here we have the function we are calling the bid, and we can simply paste the gas limit here. Again, in the final source code, this all update will be done, but I'm showing you that how you can do it. So then we have this NFT withdrawal. You can simply set the gas limit. So This is the gas limit you can set for this one, or you can simply remove it. It's totally up to you. And this is the test you have to do to check which function is causing the issue. If this particular function not causing the issue, you can simply remove, because we don't want to spend extra money for doing the transaction. So you always make testing of the function and check which function is causing the issue, and if it's giving this gas error, then you can simply provide, otherwise you can remove. So I'm going to simply remove because this one is not going to create any problem. Then we have this update listing fee. You can simply come back here, provide this gas limit, change this one, go back to the withdraw bid. Let me do it very quickly and paste here. This is the withdraw bid. Close this one. This is the complete auction. We are making the changes in the state variable and paste here. Remove it. Here we have the get highest bidder, and we don't need to provide anything in here because these are the get function. So this is the latest bidding, and here we have this one bid. So we are passing the token number and bid. You don't need to do anything. This looks pretty fine, so you have to leave it as it is. So close this one. Now come back to the transfer fund. Here we can set the gas limit, which we have already done it. You don't need to do that. You can see if it's causing the error, you can simply provide the gas limit, and this will work absolutely fine. This will work absolutely fine. Close this one. Now you can come back here to the send messages. Again, you can set the gas limit here as well, because we are providing the data. Once you're done with that, and you can come back to the community create, and here you can also provide that. So this one is for create account, so I'm going to provide the gas limit. Again, I'm telling you that you have to do the testing, because when I'm developing and doing the transaction, it's not causing an issue. Sometime it will happen in your case when you test locally. So make sure to do that when you are testing locally, but when you are deploying to the test network or a mainnet, you can simply avoid this, because this will automatically get calculated. So this is one we have. Now we have the community message. We can simply provide that send message and paste here. Close this one. Now we have the community add friend. Here we are making the friend, so we are changing the state. We can simply provide that gas limit. Close this one. Then we have the buy token. Here we are also buying the token, so we are providing the value, and we can simply provide the gas limit. Then we can simply close this one. Then we have the transfer native token. So we are doing the transfer of the fund, so we can simply provide the gas limit. Close this one. Then we have the donation. So here we are donating the fund, so I can simply provide the gas limit here. Then we can close it, and this is the withdrawal. So like we don't need to do anything. You can simply pass the gas limit. There's no problem in that. So let's do that for a safety purpose. And that's the only thing you have to do. Make sure to provide in all the function. First, I would suggest you to check one by one which function is causing the issue, because sometimes it's also cause this issue depending on the data which you are passing into the contract. If the data is huge, it causes the issue. So only set this gas limit when there is a error is happening in a specific function. Otherwise, you can simply leave it. And this problem will only happen when you're testing locally, not in the test network. That's what I have seen so far. So this is all the updates we have done. Hope you guys have followed me. Now I'm going to simply close this one, and now we can start installing the packages. So what you have to do, make sure to first check the node version, then update your Pinata API and secret key. Then you have to set this gas limit, and we are deploying this to the Polygon anomaly network. There we are deploying our contract. So first I'm going to simply remove this text from the terminal, and now you have to come back to the hard hat config file. And here we have. So here we have to do the configuration with the test network. So I have already provided the RPC endpoint, so you don't need to do anything in here. And here you have to provide your wallet private key, which we're going to use to deploy our contract to this particular test network. You don't need to do anything in here because this one is for the local hard hat. And here we have the configuration which we have done for this particular network. So you can see we are deploying our to anomaly. So only thing you have to do is to provide your API key. This is but you have to provide your API key. So what I'm going to do is I have to configure this network in my Metamask, so we can generate the transaction, and we can generate the transaction, and we have to get some free faucet of this particular network so we can make the transaction. So let's come back here, and here they have given you complete details that how you have to configure this particular Polygon new network in your Metamask. So if I come back in my Metamask, and you can see I have already configured this network in my Metamask. So I'll say, let me give my password. and I'm connected with this particular account. Let me close this one. If I go with the network, you can see this particular network is already configured in my MetaMask. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply delete it. I'm going to simply delete it, and I will come back to my account. So this is the first account I will come, and this is my real account in which I make the transaction only for testing the network, not real fund I have in this. So you cannot use the harded account. You can see all of this account which I have imported. These are the harded accounts which you cannot use on the test network. You can use on the local node when you're testing your contract locally in your computer using hardhat. Then you can use all of this account. But so when you are testing on Polygon, mainnet, testnet, and that you have to use your own wallet address, not the hardhat one. So I have to get fund on this particular account for this particular network. So if you scroll down here, they have given all the instruction that how you can configure this particular test network in your MetaMask. So you can simply put this entire data manually. So if I come back here in the MetaMask and if I click on this, if I go to the add network, and it will open this particular module. You can click on this add network manually, and here you have to provide the same details which you can see right up here, or you can do in a more elegant way. You can simply click on this connect to anomaly network. It's going to open the MetaMask. It's going to click on this and it's going to open the MetaMask, and it will automatically configure this network in your MetaMask. So let's do that. Click on next, and we are connected with this particular network. You can see it's automatically pulling all the data. Like this is the network, this is the RPC endpoint, this is the chain ID, and symbol is MATIC. Simply click on this approve, and now we can simply switch back to this particular network. So call switch network and call OK. So it's added successfully. So now if you come back here in the MetaMask, you can see we are connected with this particular network. You can simply rename whatever you want. So if I come back here and if I come to the network section, I can simply rename. Let's call it Polygon Mumbai and save it. So I have renamed this name. Close this one as well. Back here, now click on this MetaMask, and I'm connected with this Polygon anomaly network, and I already have this fund. In your case, if you have a fresh account, you don't have this, but they have also given you the instruction that how you can get the free faucet. So for getting free faucet, we have multiple provider which we can use to get the free faucet. So if you come back here, Acme Faucet. So Acme is a Web3 provider which allow you to get free faucet, but recently they have made the changes in the free faucet. So if I click on this Polygon anomaly faucet, right now they want you to have at least minimum this much fund in your wallet address, the real fund, then you can able to call the free faucet. So that's the condition they have started recently for protecting due to spam. But they have also given you an instruction here, so you can get the free faucet from Polygon as well. So simply click here, and it will take a little bit time, and it's going to open this portion. From here you have to select the network. So I'm going to select this network. From here you have to select the MATIC, and it will ask you to connect with the Discord server. So you cannot able to paste, you have to simply connect with the Discord server, and you have to join the Discord servers. After that, they're going to allow you to claim free faucet, and this is what I have done to get this faucet which you can see in my account. So let's click on this connect Discord to get token, and it's going to open the Discord server. Here you have to simply say authorize. So after authorization, I'm redirected back here on this page, but when you will do for the very first time, it will tell you to authorize, and after that it will tell you again to join the Discord servers. I have already joined the Discord server in the past, so that's why they haven't asked me that question, and they get me this particular information, this particular page where I can simply claim the token. So again I have to select the network, this is the MATIC, and here I have to paste the address. So I can simply click here, and this is the account which I'm going to use for deploying the contract. So simply copy this one, and here you have to paste. So this is the address, and simply click on this submit, and it's going to give you 0.2 MATIC. Click on this confirm, and the transaction will take a little bit time. In my case, you can see the transaction failed because yesterday I claimed a token, and that's what the balance you can see, and this fund is sufficient for me to deploy the contract. But when you are doing this for the very first time, it will transfer you 0.2 fund which you can use it, which I have already done yesterday. Okay, so that's the thing you have to do, and that's the thing you have to do. And if you have some real fund like real MATIC in your wallet address, then you can able to claim from this particular site as well. But they want you to have this much fund, real fund, then you can able to get the test MATIC for testing the contract on this particular network. So this is the first thing. Make sure you have to configure a network, you have to have a fund, and now we are ready to deploy our contract to the test network. So click on this. Now go to the account details, come back here and click on the show private key. Here you have to provide your password. So we'll say, obviously I'm going to hide this one, so I'm going to simply copy this one. You have to copy your address, and now you have to come back to the code, and here you have to simply provide that, and here you have to simply paste your private key. So this is the only thing you have to do. Now we are ready to deploy our contract to the test network. So we have done the entire setup for deploying our contract. We have done the same thing for the network as well. So you can see here I have defined that I am using Polygon anomaly. So this particular condition I have set because sometime what happened, the user who want to use our application, they don't have this network in their MetaMask. So if I come back here, you can see I already have this particular network in my MetaMask. But what if those user who wants to use our application and they don't have this particular network? So you have to have this particular condition. So when they will interact, it will automatically add the network in their MetaMask and they will not face any error. And that's what we are doing here. You can see that's the configuration we have done, which is done in the final code. So you don't need to do anything. So simply close this one, and now we have to deploy our contract. So come back to the script, go back to the deploy, and this is the script you have to type. npx hard run, we are into the script folder, deploy file, and we are simply deploying. And we are deploying all of this contract which we have written. I hope you guys have followed the complete project. Some of you try to run the final code. So make sure to follow the complete project, that will give you a better idea. So now simply copy this one, open up your terminal. So now we can simply deploy our contract. So make sure you have to be in this particular folder. This is the folder in which you have to be for deploying. So before we start deploying, we have to install all of the packages because we don't have the packages. So simply do one thing, type npmi or install, both will work fine, and hit enter. It's going to install all of the libraries, all of the package which we are using in our project. That's all will install, and you can see I'm not having any issue. This is the exact step you have to follow to do the configuration of the network and install of the packages. So looks pretty fine. So just wait. Soon this entire process will complete and we can ready to deploy our contract. So it's taking a little bit time. So here you can see we have finally installed all of the packages and we haven't had any issue. Everything is looking fine. Now simply clear your terminal, type clear, clear if you are using Mac. So now we are ready to deploy our contract. So come back here in the script, deploy. So before we actually deploy our contract, you can do one thing. You can simply remove this artifact. Inside the artifact, you can see this is the contract, and in that we have all the API of our contract which we have written, all the API. So we can simply delete. I can delete that one, and you can see all the API we have drag and drop here. So if you are making any changes in your contract, like whether you make any changes here, then make sure to provide the updated API, which you will get when you will deploy the contract. It's going to generate the API, and that's what you have to simply drag and drop. So I have removed that, and there is no artifact folder. So that's the thing you have to keep in mind. Whenever you make any changes in your contract, you have to provide the updated API. So let's generate the API. I haven't done any changes, so I can go with this old API because it's the same. But if you make any change, then it will generate the new API, which you have to simply drag and drop here and replace the old one. So what you have to do is simply paste the deploy script. So this is the deploy script, npx hard run script, and hit enter. It's going to create your artifact. So just wait. It's taking a little bit time. And finally, here we got the artifact. It's compiled successfully. If you open that, in that you will find the contract and all of this community, and you can simply drag and drop the JSON file which we have here. So I already have it and I haven't make any changes, so I'm going to keep it as it is. But if you make any changes, simply drag and drop here, which I've explained extensively in the project, so make sure to follow that. So it's taking a little bit time. We got the compilation successfully and it's deploying our contract to this particular network. So we have to wait because we have 6 different contracts. So it's taking a little bit time to deploy on the network. So just wait. So the contract is taking a little bit time, and I find out that it's happening because of the gas limit. So I simply got back to the same RPC endpoint. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the gas limit here. So I can come back here, and this is the gas maximum gas limit I want to provide for deploying our contract. So let's give a try. Save it, make sure to save the file, and now we can simply go back to the deployment script and hit enter. And finally the contract is successfully deployed. I tried for 20 minutes and now it's deployed, because the moment I'm recording this video the network is quite busy, that's why it's taking a little bit time. So the best time to deploy the contract, I would say in the night, because that time the transaction is happening very fast. But after 20 minutes finally the contract is deployed, and this is the RPC endpoint I have used. So now once you have the addresses, you have to simply copy this one. I'll copy that one. Now I can come back here. I don't need to do any changes in the JSON file because I haven't make any changes in the contract. So I'll come back here in the context, go back to the constants, and I can simply drag this one, and you can see here we have all the addresses. This is the local one, this is the MetaMask, and this is the setting we have done. New polygon MOI 2. Now I can simply paste the address. So just now we have deployed a contract and this is the address. Now all we have to do is to simply replace the addresses. So I can simply copy the address, and this one is the blockchain coder, means our ERC20 token. So I'm going to simply provide the address here. Once you're done with that, same thing with this NFT marketplace, and this is the address for NFT marketplace. Now this is the token, copy, and that's what we have, this token, paste here. Now I can come back to the community, copy, and this is the community, paste here. Same for the transfer, copy, and I can simply paste here in the transfer, paste here. Now this one is the support, copy. Now we can come back to the support, there it is. Now we have the last one is this donation, copy and paste here, donation. That's the only thing you have to do. Now we have successfully deployed our contract and replaces all the addresses. So finally we have done all the update of our addresses. Now we don't need to do anything. All you have to do is to simply start the application. So if you come back here in the package.json file, and this is the command we have to run, we are running on the development. So type npm run dev, hit enter. It's going to start our application localhost 3000. You can see, simply copy this particular URL, no problem. We have come back here in the browser, come back, close this one, come back here and simply paste your localhost 3000 and hit enter. And here you can see, and right now you can see we have no issue in our project. Everything is working fine. There is no NFT because no one have created any NFT, so nothing is displaying here. Even the search bar and the NFT card component, nothing is displaying. So here I got this button. You can simply check the light and dark mode. You can go to the different component, like you can go back to the different component. There is nothing in here. You can go to the offers. There is nothing in here. So let's come back to the explore section, the home page. Now click on this connect. If you click, it will automatically connect because I have already connected with the same network. So let me show you. I can simply go with logout and I can simply remove this one. It will automatically pop this one and I can type shoaib92 and hit enter. And I'm connected. But what if someone don't have this particular network in their MetaMask? So we have already done the configuration. So let me show you. I can simply come back here and I can pick a different network. For example, I can pick this Binance. That's what I can pick. And if I try to reload the page, it will auto open the pop-up model and it will tell me that this particular contract is deployed on this network. So it will tell us to switch the network. So I can click on the switch network and it will automatically switch the network. So you can come back here and you can see we are switched to Polygon. But what if there is no network, like this network is not available in our MetaMask? So I can simply come back here and I can simply come back here and I can delete this one, because this is one of the possibility. The user who is using application, it doesn't have the network. So in that context, we have to set this entire network automatically in their MetaMask wallet. So if I simply reload the page, it will automatically open this pop-up model and it will tell the user to set this network in their MetaMask so they can interact with our contract. So we can see, click on this approve and switch, and finally the user is connected with the network. Now we can create an NFT. So right now you can see we are getting this particular notification, sorry, no NFT for sale, because we haven't created any NFT. That's why the search bar no component is displaying. So click on this create, it will come back here. So I'm going to create an image NFT. Click on this image, click on this, and it's going to pick an image. So I'll pick this one. You can see it will deploy our image to the IPFS and it will give us the reflection here. You can see it's deployed successfully. You can call whatever you want. I say Daulat Hussain. You can give whatever name you want. I can come back here and I can get some dummy text from here. So like I can get some dummy text from here, paste the dummy text. Now I can give the price. So this one is the ether price, so I can call something very less. I'll go with this amount, and this is the token price. Again, I have explained extensively, so make sure to follow the complete project. So I'll say the token price would be 12, and now I can click on this create. So if I come back here, if I do the search console, there is no problem. You can click on this create item. It's going to open the MetaMask and you will create your first NFT. So it's taking a little bit time, and finally the MetaMask popped up. This is the fund we are charging for user for creating the NFT, and click on this confirm. And here it's loading. If you check the MetaMask, here the transaction is happening. It's in the pending mode. Once the transaction will complete, the NFT will reflect here. And finally you can see we got this failed message. If we come back here and if you look at the error message which we have got, and this particular error is happening because of the gas price we have set. So as I told you that when you are doing the testing on the test network, you don't need to provide that, but when you are doing the transaction on the local environment using hard hat, then you have to provide that. So let's come back here and let me show you. So like if we come back, close all of this, go back to the context, and here we are calling this particular function. So let's close all of this, and here we have this particular function called create cell, and here we have provided this gas limit. So when you are doing the testing on the test network, you don't need to provide that. Okay, as I told you that you have to check one by one. So I'm going to simply remove this one, and this time you can see there is no problem. So it's done. Now you can simply reload the page. For being on the safer side, you can do one thing. You can simply clear your MetaMask history. So go to the advanced setting and clear history and remove it. Reload the page. Now it's working fine. There is no data. You can select the image. Let's deploy that, and I'm going to use the same image. It's will deploy successfully. Once it will deploy, it will give you this, and now I can call this Daulat. Let's give the description. I can set the price to very low I can set, and I can set this to 12. Once you're done with that, click on this create item, and it's going to make the transaction. It will open the MetaMask, and you have to simply confirm the transaction. So here we have this one. Now we can say confirm, and it's going to make the transaction, and this time you will see the transaction will complete smoothly. There is no problem. You can see the MetaMask, the transaction is happening. It's in the pending mode. Just wait, and finally the transaction is completed. You can see confirm, and it will redirect to you to your account page. My NFT, right now we don't have anything in my NFT because we don't own any NFT. If you come back to the listed NFT, here you will find the NFT which you have listed. So it's working fine. It's working fine. I hope you guys have understood that what exactly we have done. This is the exact thing you have to do. You can come back to the home page, and now you can see the search bars is visible because right now the NFT is available, and you can able to find all of this component. Do the same thing with the audio. You can select the audio, pick the image, go back to the download, and I have a small audio. So this is the audio which I'm going to pick. So again, wait, the deployment is happening. Once the file will deploy, it will give you the audio file here which you can test from your end. So it's taking a little bit fine because the audio file is quite big. You can simply play and you can watch. You can give the name. I'll say audio, give the description, and we can give this to 12, and I go with, no, I want to go with very less. I don't have much funds. I can give this to 12. Done. Now you can click on this create item. It's going to open the MetaMask, and now you can able to perform all the transaction. So just wait, it's happening. Simply confirm the transaction. Once you will confirm, it will redirect you to create page, and just wait. The transaction is happening. Once it will complete, you will have all these details. So just wait. And the transaction is completed. We are redirect to the my account page, and here you can see, click on this listed NFT, and here we have the listed NFT which we have created. If you can go back to explore NFT, and here we have this one. Click on it, you can able to find the details. You can able to set the auction. Okay, so looks pretty good. I hope you guys have understood that what exactly you have to do. This is how you have to deploy your contract to the test network, and this is how you have to do it. So as I told you that this gas limit will only required when you are testing locally using hard hat. But when you are doing the transaction on the test network, you don't need to provide that. So I hope this is clear to all of you guys that what exactly we have done, how everything is working fine. Okay. So once you're done with that, now you can start focusing on the next step, that how you can use hard hat for deploying and testing the contract locally in your hard hat environment. So I'm going to simply cut this all. So again, I'm telling you, if you using the test network, you can simply remove this gas limit we have provided. But if you are using in your hard hat environment, you can provide. You have to test that which one causing the error. According to that, you have to provide this gas limit. Got it? Now I'm going to simply come back, open up my terminal, and I'm going to stop the application from running. Clear it up. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Type npm run dev, and it's working fine. The application is running. You can see we have no issue. It's loaded, and here we are. Come back to the home page, like the NFTs are displaying. Here we got the NFT. Now what if I want to see the admin page? So I'll go to the admin, hit enter, and right now you can see that I don't have the access of the admin page, because the configuration we have done in the project, it has a different address, and the address which I have used, the account which I have used is different. So only the account which you have used for deploying your contract can have the access of the admin page. So I can come back here, close this one, go back to the pages. Here we have the page called admin, and here we have this configuration. So just a moment, let's come back here, and this is the admin. This is the address is having the access. So what I can do, I can simply come back here, I can simply go back, I can get the address, and I can come back here, I can simply replicate it, comment this one, I can paste the address, and now I will have the access of the admin page. So reload the page. Here we have the access. If someone else try to interact with our application, so let me switch back my account. If I go to my account number 6, this is also has couple of fun, and if I reload the page, you can able to see that I don't have the access. But if I go back to my account 1, and if I reload the page, I have the access where I can see all the details which user have done and created on our application. That's all you will find. So this is how you can deploy your contract to the Polygon test network. So that's done. Now I can do one thing. I can simply close this one, and now I will show you how you can do with hard hat, which is the second part of our tutorial. So I'm going to simply open up terminal, stop the application from running. So once we're done with that, we have seen that how we can deploy our contract to Polygon test network. Now we're going to use hard hat local node environment for deploying our contract locally and do the testing. So we have to get into the particular folder. Open up your terminal. You can see we are already into this particular folder. Now before we actually deploy our contract, we have to do a little bit changes in our hard hat config file. So come back here, and you can see this is for the network deployment, and here we have this for local node deployment. So make sure to uncomment this, and you have to comment this portion. Comment this. This is the first thing you have to do. This is the first thing. Now you have to come back here in the utils, go back to the contract, and this time we are focusing on the local node, so we don't need to simply call this particular function for a specific blockchain. So I'm going to simply comment this one. Simply comment this one, and it will work fine. It's not going to switch the network. Or you can simply comment this as well. There is no problem in that. So make sure to do these changes. Once you're done with that, we are ready to deploy our contract in localhost. But before we deploy, we have to configure the hard hat wallet in our MetaMask. So come back here, come back. Now we can simply click on this. Let me come back here. Let's click on this MetaMask, go back to this, click on this add network, and here we have the network. Click on this add network manually, and here you have to configure the localhost manually. So if you come back here in the network section, you can see I have already done the configuration here. So this is the localhost, this is the RPC endpoint, this is the chain ID, and this is the currency. So right now you can see I'm getting this particular warning, but when you will configure the local hard local node in your MetaMask, it will not happen. It will give you an error. So all you have to do is to change the currency name to Go. Like you can simply call it Go instead of ETH, and that will work fine. Okay, because in the latest update in Hard Hat they have made these changes. So I'm not going to do the changes. You have to provide the exactly the same thing. Make sure to change the symbol to Go and it will work fine. So I have done this particular configuration. Make sure to do the exactly the same thing and close this one. Now close this one, and if I come back in the MetaMask one more time, you can see here I have all of this account. I have more than 20 accounts which I have imported. So all of this account which you can see with zero balance, it's a Hard Hat account which I have imported. In your case, you might have already imported this account or you might have not. I would suggest you, I hope you guys have followed the complete project where we have talked about this all extensively. So this is the MetaMask setups we have done. Clearly no problem in that. All we have to do is to switch the network back to the localhost. And right now you can see I don't have any fund, it's zero, and it's taking a little bit time because our local node is not running. So come back here, the setup is done. Now open up your terminal, and here you have to split your terminal, and here you have to run your Hard Hat local node. So simply type npx Hard Hat node, hit enter, and this will start the local blockchain. So this command will run the local Hard Hat node in your computer, which you can use to deploy your contract locally. And the best part is that Hard Hat give you 20 plus account which you can use to test your contract, and each account have 10,000 free ether. Obviously it's a test one, not a real one. And by default, I just want to tell you, by default Hard Hat will take the very first account for deploying your contract. So zero account zero, this is the account Hard Hat will take to deploy your contract by default. So once it's running, make sure you have to keep this running. You don't need to stop this, otherwise the deployment will not work. Now we have to deploy our contract. So this is the script we have. We have to simply deploy. All you have to do is to simply copy this particular portion and paste here, and all you have to do is to simply type localhost. This is the command you have to type. npx Hard Hat run deploy localhost, and simply hit enter. This will deploy your contract, and here the contract is successfully deployed locally, and we have the address. So let me bring it this side. This is the address. So again, I'm going to copy this entire command and provide you here so you guys can simply test. This one is for the local deployment. So simply copy the address, and you have to do the exactly the same thing. Copy the address. Now come back to the context, constants, and here we have to simply replace that. So if I come back here, you can see the addresses are same. The addresses are same, like AA3, 112, 6E0, 6E0, FC9, FC9, A6, C9, 6C9, 75707, 7507, and here we have the last contract which is V8F. So when you will deploy a contract, this is the exact addresses you will get in this order. So if you deploy one contract, you will have this address. If you go deploy the second contract, you will have this address. This is how the Hard Hat package is designed. It will always give you the same address. So we don't need to do any changes. So make sure once you have this one, and here I have already provided this for the local. So I'm going to simply come back here. We'll say local Hard Hat testing with addresses. So you don't need to do any changes. It's already there. So I'm going to simply come back here, and I'm going to simply comment this all, and uncomment this upper portion, this one, because it has the same address. uncomment this. I hope you guys have understood that what exactly I have done. The addresses are same. This is the setup I have done for the local, and this one is for the test network. So once you're done with that, everything looks pretty good. Don't need to do anything. Now all we have to do is to start our application. So simply type npm run dev, hit enter, and it's going to start the application on localhost 3000. Our application is running absolutely fine. Simply copy, and you can come back here and we can simply reload the page, and you can see we have successfully connected with the application. If I open the Metamask, you can see we are on the localhost 8548, and there is no fund in this particular account because this one is the real address of Ethereum. We have to use the harded account for testing the contract. So I can simply go back here and you can see all of this account now has the fund. All of this account has the fund because these are the harded account. So I'm going to take this very first account because this is the account by default harded will use for deployment of contract. Okay, as I told you. So if I come back here, you can see this is the addresses. This is the first address 0, and we have this 2266, and that's what I have imported in my Metamask. 2266. If you don't know how to import the harded account, it's very easy. Simply click here, click on this. So simply come back here, click on this. Here you have this option called add account, import account. All you have to do is to simply come back in your VS Code, and here we have the private key. If I simply copy this and come back in Metamask, if I paste here, call it import, it will throw this error that I have already imported this account. So this is how you can import the account in your Metamask. So once you're done with that, you can see I have this much fund because this is the account Harded will use to deploy your contract. So everything's looking fine. Now the thing you have to focus is that if you try to create your NFT right now with this account, is going to be fail because this is the problem we have in the Harded. So you should always clear your history. Then try to create an NFT when you are doing locally. So if I reload the page, I have cleared my history, and whenever you change your account, for example, if I go back to the account number 3, so when you are switching account, you have to do this process. You have to simply clear your history data, otherwise the transaction will fail. So I'm going with the old account, the admin account, so I can see the admin detail as well. So I'm connected with that. I have to simply clear my history, otherwise the transaction will fail. Now looks good. Now there is no NFT. Hope things are clear. Now I can click on this create. I can click on this image, click on this. I have to select the NFT, so I can go back to this, and here I have the assets. Inside the assets, I'm going to take this one, and it's going to simply deploy our NFT to the IPFS. So just wait, it's deploying. So it's taking a little bit time. Finally the deployment is completed. I can call whatever I want. I say Daulat NFT. I can give a description, so I can simply copy this text from here, paste here. I can give the price, so I can call it something like 45 because I have enough fund in my Harded so I can test it. And for the token price, I can also call it 23. I can click on this create item. If I click, it's going to open my Metamask and I have to complete the transaction. So it's taking a little bit time, just wait. Here we have that, and I have to simply click on this confirm, and the NFT is created successfully. You can see how quickly it created. Transaction is completed, and you can come back to the listed NFT, and here you have the NFT which we have created successfully. Looks pretty good. I hope you guys have understood that what exactly happening, and you can see this time we not face the error. So if I come back here, in the NFT context, and here we have this create. This time I haven't faced the problem of that gas limit. If you are facing that problem, gas limit, you have to simply provide that. Okay, you have to simply provide this and it will work fine. So let's try creating NFT by providing this particular value. So I'll simply copy and paste here, and let's try to create an NFT and see what exactly we are getting. So this is the one thing. Now let's try to create one more NFT. Come back here. This time I'm going to create an audio. Not audio. Audio is a very big file, and I don't want to exhaust my Pinata storage. So I click on this, and I will pick this image this time. I'm going to do the inspect element to see the data is coming. So finally we have uploaded. Now I can simply call this NFT, give a description, not this, I can simply copy, paste here, give 43, 43, and click on this create item, and it's going to open the MetaMask, and click on this confirm, and this time I'm getting this particular error, you can see, and this error is happening because of the gas limit. So when you are facing the gas limit, only that time you have to provide. So I'm not facing that error, so I'm going to simply remove this one, save it. Now let me try one more time. So whenever you get any error, make sure you have to clear your MetaMask history. Clear my MetaMask history. Now I can create the file. So let's try to do one more time. Let's call this NFT, give the description, give the price, and create item. It's going to open the MetaMask, and we can successfully create the NFT. And here we have created the NFT successfully. No problem in that. We can go back to the admin page, and I can see I don't have the access because this is the account number 2 is the admin, and we have a different address. So I can simply go back in the pages, in the admin, and I can simply bring this one back and close this one, save it, reload the page, and here we have it. So I can come back to the Explore, and if I want to purchase this NFT, I can do that very easily. So I can come back here, I can switch my account to account 3. I have to clear the MetaMask history and reload the page, come back here, and I want to buy. I have two options to buy this one with the help of TBC token, the native token, and with the Ether. So I have enough fund which I can use to buy, so I'm going to use this one. Click on this buy, confirm the transaction, and just wait, confirm, and we have successfully bought the NFT. It's working absolutely fine. So here we have bought the NFT. You can come back here, you can relist to the marketplace. So if you want to relist, let me do this index element to show you. I want to sell this to 50, call it relisting. It's going to open the MetaMask, and just wait, confirm, and here we have relist that to the marketplace. If you come back to the function, here we have this call resell. If you provide the gas limit, then it will cause an issue. So make sure to remove the gas limit. If it's causing an issue, then only provide, otherwise you don't need to provide the gas limit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply remove the gas limits which I have provided with all the function, because everything is working fine. If it's causing you this issue, then provide. And when you are testing the contract on a test network, it will not cause an issue because it will automatically get calculated by MetaMask. But when you are using hard hat, in that scenario, sometime it cause an issue. So we have no gas limit in this. This is also fine. Buy. This is the one. I'm going to simply remove this one. The reason why I have added this to show you, because some of you have complained that this is what you are getting. Only one student who complained about this, but no other student have faced this issue. So remove this one. I would encourage you to do the testing on a test network like Polygon. Okay, close this one, come back here. Here we have the gas limit, remove this one. Then we have this withdrawal, remove this one. Then we have this, remove this one. There is no gas limit we have added in this particular function. No, it's not. Then we have the transfer fund. I want to simply comment this because I don't need this one. Then we have the messages. So I don't need to add the gas limit here as well. Remove this one. Then we have the create. Remove this gas limit from here as well. Close this one. Then we have this send message. Remove the gas limit. Then we have the add friend. Remove the gas limit from here. Then we have the buy. I want to remove this. Then we have the transfer native token. Remove this. Then we have this donate. I don't want to have the gas limit. Then we have the withdraw, and we can simply remove the gas limit from here as well. So I hope you guys have understood that what exactly you have to do. Everything is working absolutely fine. So these are the changes you have to do when you are testing locally. I'm going to do the testing on the test network. So I'll simply close all of this tab, and I'm going to simply comment this because I prefer to test on the test network, not on the hard hat. But in this tutorial I have explained every single thing, so you can do it. So I'm going to simply bring this back, and I'm going to simply remove this address because you have to use your own. I'll say your private key. Here you have to provide your private key. This is fine. And you have to come back to the utils contract, and I want to do the testing on a specific network, so I'm going to bring this back, and I'm going to bring this back as well because the contract I have deployed on the Polygon. Now simply close this one, save it, and I can go back to the constants, and I'm not using the hard hat, so I'm going to simply select all of this, comment this one, and I have to bring this back to life. So simply bring it back, uncomment this, and this is what exactly you will get in the final source code. So if you want to execute on the Polygon test network, you have to do the following setup which I have explained in the first section, and this is for the hard hat. So I'm going to stop this one. I'm going to let's stop the hard hat, and let's stop the application as well. I'm going to simply close this one. I'm going to clear my terminal, and when you will download the final source code, this is the 3 folder you will get. All you have to do is to simply come back into this particular folder. Okay, so let me show you one more time so you guys cannot get confused. So let me delete this one and let me show you. This is what you will get, and here you are into this particular folder. Make sure to get into that, and all you have to do is to simply install the files. Type npm I install. It will install all the packages. So just wait. So once you download the file, install the packages, we have successfully installed that, and now we can start the application. Type npm run dev. You don't need to do anything. I'm providing my Pinata API key and secret key. Currently it's working, but maybe in future it will not work because it has a limit. So make sure you have to replace with your own. So it's working fine. Now I can come back in the browser. I can simply go localhost 3000, and here you can see it will tell me to switch the network. So I can simply go back to the Polygon, switching the network, reloading the page, and here we have the NFT which I have created, the audio and video. Got it? Now if I come back here, if I try to access the admin page, I cannot do that because I'm not the admin. So I have to switch back. So I can come back here, go to the pages, go to the admin, and I want to switch this to this network so I can have the access. Reload the page, and here we have it. So I have to switch my network back to my account. So like I can go back to the first account, reload the page, and here I have the access. So I believe that now you guys have understood that what exactly you have to do, what are the update you have to do. These are the basics things. Only one student have faced this issue, that's why I'm making this dedicated video, but most of you have done it smoothly, and I can see a lot of you guys are enjoying, getting a lot of good messages from you. Thanks for all the appreciation which you guys have provided me and supported me so far. So if you have any question, you can simply shoot an email, or you can simply ask in the Discord. I'll try to help you in that. So with that, I'm ending this video. Hope now everything is clear that what exactly you have to do, how things are working fine. So with that, I'm ending this video, and make sure to follow the complete project. The best way to learn is to follow from start to end. So follow all the project setup, then follow the Solidity course, because this is very important. If you understand Solidity programming language, you can able to build any type of contract, and you can build your own and do all the modification. Once you're done with the Solidity course, then there are a couple of crash course: HTML, CSS, React, Tailwind, Hardhat, Metamask, third web providers. Follow this and then start building the project. If you try to run straight away, you can run the application, but there is a lot of things are involved, a lot of price setups we have talked about in the project, that how you can do that for buying the NFT with the native token and with ether. So that's all is explained in the complete project. So simply follow step by step, step by step. That will help you. You can download the final code. So this is the code which I have written just now. I'm going to update that, so you can simply re-download it. Or here we have some important links which you can follow. You can download the starter file and you can do everything. So with that, I'm ending this video. Hope you guys have understood that what exactly you have to do. If you have any question, any doubt, just shoot an email. I'll try to help you, and David will try to respond. And also you can ask in the Discord server. So just let me know. With that, I'm ending this video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.